Hello everyone, I'm Intan Yunika from Bandung Institute of Technology. Here I want to give a presentation about how CCUS could be promoted in Indonesia. And here is the outline from the presentation. Firstly, a little bit of an overview about CCUS. Secondly, we talk about project CCUS in Indonesia, and lastly, discussing how to promote CCUS in Indonesia from my perspective. As we know, the Paris Agreement is an agreement that is the basis for promoting carbon emission reductions, where its contents are a long-term goal of keeping the increase in global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and secondly, to aim to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius, since this would be significantly reduce risk and the impacts of climate change. And here the figure of social and economical impact of climate change. And next, this is the definition of CCS, or carbon capture and storage. Is an emission reduction process designed to prevent large amount of carbon dioxide (CO2) from being released into the atmosphere. It is considered a key and necessary technology to actively reduce industry-driven greenhouse gas emission, and CCS capturing CO2, compressing it for transportation, and then injecting it deep into a rock formation at selected site where it is permanently stored. And CCUS, or carbon capture utilization storage, involves the capture of CO2 from fuel combustion or industrial processes that are transported by ship or pipeline, and its use as a resource to create valuable products or services, and its permanent storage deep underground in geological formation. Related to Paris Agreement and to reduce greenhouse emission, this is the urgency of CCS project. The IPCC emphasized that if we want to implement the Paris Agreement and limit future temperature increases to 1.5 degrees, we must do more than just increase emission reduction efforts. We also need to implement technologies to remove carbon from the atmosphere, and CCS is one of these technologies, so it can play an important role in the fight against global warming. And CCS project typically target 90% efficiency, meaning that 90% of the carbon dioxide from the power plant will be captured and stored. And CCUS is expected to play an important role in meeting energy and climate goals worldwide in coming decades. And this one of the articles that explain Indonesia is intensively implementing the CCUS project, especially in Gundi, in collaboration with Japanese partners and Bandung Institute of Technologies to progress Gundi. And the Gundi CCUS pilot project will be the first carbon capture and storage project implemented in South Asia. And the project was initiated by researchers from Bandung Institute of Technology, Pertamina, and Kyoto University. The project plans to use artificial carbon dioxide burned by Gundi CPP, or Central Processing Plant, located at Blora District, Central Java, Indonesia. And the project was originally funded by JICA and GST through the SATREPS, or Science and Technology Sustainable Development Research Association project, spanning multiple studies related to the preparation of Gundi CCS. And the pilot project, especially the selection of the CO2 injection site related to the geology, geophysics, reservoir engineering or DGR, and the planned geophysical monitoring plan that must be carried out before, during, and after the injection of CO2 to determine CO2 storage. And this is our main concern about how CCUS could be promoted in Indonesia. As we can see in many sectors, firstly, from the economic aspect, the implementation of carbon capture, utilization, storage in Indonesia is very profitable. With many collaboration with other parties, CCUS OPEX and CAPEX funding can be overcome, and according to the scenario that has been carried out, for example, the Guni project will generate profits. And next, from the environmental aspect, it will certainly reduce carbon dioxide from industrial activities in Indonesia, according to the target government of Indonesia to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 29%, or with international support targeted to reach 41% by 2030. This global commitment is set in Paris Agreement at the conference Climate Change in Paris. And next, from the regulation and government Indonesia, the government has also adjusted regulation for the implementation of carbon capture storage across the energy sector. Renewal of regulation related to CCS will facilitate the development of CCUS in Indonesia and continue to collaborate with other parties. And lastly, from social media aspect, utilization social media such as Instagram that raises CCUS content with an attractive appearance and easy for the general public to understand. And this is aspect that can be used for promoted CCUS in Indonesia. And besides that, this is several benefits from CCUS in economy, social, and environment aspect. Firstly is to promote energy diversification, including the continuous and cleaner use of fossil fuels. And secondly, maintain long-term employment and investment opportunities in energy-intensive industry. And thirdly, protect existing energy and other industrial conditions, the value of a substantial investment in facilities. And lastly, expand options for power generation technologies and support investment in alternative energy sources. And this from my presentation, this is the summary. We can conclude that CCUS is promising technology, especially in the energy sector. And as a follow-up to the existing CCUS, the implementation of CCUS EOR technology in the region of Indonesia to increase oil and gas production, and lastly, reducing carbon emission in Indonesia. And thank you for your attention. This is the end of this presentation. And thank you for your attention, and sorry for any mistakes you at another time.